Hey, what's up, moneymakers and MULN investors? Welcome back to the channel. We had a massive sell-off in MULN on Friday. $1.07. We're down 10.08%. After hours, we are even down 2% more down, $1.05. The questions that I've been getting from all of you is whether we'll go below $1. Are we safe? We are going to be trading a Nasdaq or not? What is going to happen? In this video, I'll be covering whether there is really no reason that MULN cannot or can trade a Nasdaq, because there is a minimum bid price rule requirement. I'll go through this Nasdaq listing center where we see that Nasdaq has compliant process for companies falling to meet $1 minimum price bid rule requirement and what it means in terms of this compliance. We'll also talk more about what is going on with MULN. MULN stock was, as you already know, was added to the short sell restriction list on Friday. What that means is that's in effect for one trading session. We'll be talking slightly more about what it means. Now, how long the short sell restriction lasts. Before I go ahead, I just wanted to ask you to hit the like button, because I do a ton of research. I put in a lot of energy, time, and efforts into building this video. Does not really cost you anything to hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, motivate me, and turn on your notification bell so you don't miss out on very juicy, very time-sensitive information, because knowledge is power and information is something when you need that the most, you should have it and you can take always advantage of the market. Remember, MULN was down $1.19. We pretty much touched the $1 mark pretty closely, $1.01, and the range high was $1.11. We also got into the short sell restriction list, as you already know. So what has been happening on Friday? MULN stock stripped SEC's short sell circuit breaker, making the SSR, which is short sell restriction list, and this rule is designed to restrict short selling from happening, further driving stock price down. So that drops more than 10% in one trading session compared to the closing price on a previous day, says the SEC. And you already know that we were at $1.19, so we went close to 20% down. When you think about like 20 cents down on a $1.20, it's pretty close to 20% down. So there is definitely a heavy short selling happening in MULN. By the way, if you haven't still clicked the like button, I request you to hit the like button, do your part, hit the like, subscribe, and let's talk more about what is going on, why the short sellers are selling this stock so hard. If you take a look at Fintel, we saw 52.03% short volume ratio on FINRA. The total FINRA volume was 22 million. We saw the short volume of FINRA 11.14 or 11.45 million, which is a massive short volume. Take a look, 52.03 off exchange short volume ratio. Short interest on percentage float 305.25. I do believe that there is still a glitch. Again, I am not 100% sure with before 25 reverse stock split, 1 for 25 reverse stock split, or before. If you already know, write down in the comment section below. Also, if you want, for MULN, if you prefer MULN to stay on Nasdaq trading platform, write down Nasdaq in the comment section below. That way we can figure out like what the army thinks. If you're part of MULN army, I know that you have the best interest in mind, and you might be looking for MULN to stay on Nasdaq in perpetuity, pretty much, because we see that if the stock is on Nasdaq, you can have a lot more eyeballs. Many people can trade 52, 54, 56, 53. We are trending super high in terms of the short selling volume, and which is why we triggered the short selling restriction list, because we're down 10%. The rule is only triggered once the share company drops by 10% within a day. 10% starts from the previous day's close. Short sell restriction remain for the remainder of the day. In many cases, the rule can extend to the next day. I'll keep you posted what this is for MULN, whether it is also implemented for Monday or not. So what you can expect Monday, let's talk about that. If there is heavy short volume, again, I'm not a financial advisor, I'm not a certified professional, so do your own due diligence before you buy or sell. This video is not for buy or sell advice. I'm just merely sharing the information that I've researched. MULN stock was down more than 86% year to date, continues to be on target for the short sellers. looking to bankrupt the company, which is massive. I don't know like why it is on the target, but again, MULN is a meme stock. Now, if you believe it or not, we have seen that the meme rally that can do 10x, 20x, 30x. You can imagine $1 price point can go to $10 price point, because if someone doesn't want to sell, and if the short sellers will have to cover the shorts, the stock can skyrocket. Write down a short squeeze in the comment section below, or squeeze in the comment section below if you figure out, or if you foresee there is going to be a squeeze. Now, again, as of April 30th, MULN has $116 million. So the company is not going to get bankrupt anytime soon, in my opinion. There are $45 million more in secure funding as well. We have talked about their earning potential and what we have seen in terms of $279 million in sales purchase order, which is huge as well. The company continues to and facing risk at delisting on Nasdaq, issuing another reverse stock split. Is there any another reverse stock split coming up? We don't know. But let's talk about what this particular bid rule requirement says for Nasdaq. If a company trades for 30 consecutive days below $1 minimum close price point bid rule requirement, Nasdaq will send the deficiency notice, which is what MULN got, advising that it has been afforded a compliance period of 180 days to regain the compliance with the applicable requirement. What that means is company will need to make sure that the stock trades about $1 price point. Now, there are a couple of ways this can happen. Number one, it can happen organically. Number two, company starts buybacking the stock. And number three, what MULN did, it's a reverse stock split. Then after, if a company does not regain the compliance with the bid price rule requirement for 180-day compliance period, company may be listed on Nasdaq, may be eligible for 180-day compliance period, which is extension. So that MULN also got the extension. And how does MULN measure the bid price of a security? MULN uses the consolidated closing price to determine whether a company complies with the bid price rule requirement for the continued listing. Another important thing, we need to really know what Nasdaq thinks, because MULN already announced, and this is what MULN said. MULN reported that the stock met $1 minimum bid price rule requirement. And the company mentioned the financial news. The MULN, an emerging electric vehicle company manufacturer, has reported that its stock traded above Nasdaq's $1 minimum bid price requirement for 10 consecutive business days. We already know, and I shared this with you. A key guideline to meet the Nasdaq's trading requirements. In September 2022, the company was notified by Nasdaq that its common stock no longer met the minimum $1 bid price per share requirement. Consequently, the company was given 180 days to regain compliance. The deadline was extended another 180 days. Now, when you get another extended deadline, that means, and if you still don't meet the requirement, that means you are at a very much risk of getting delisted from Nasdaq. What MULN can do? Number one, they can do reverse stock split. Now, we know that the price was around 8 cents, 9 cents, 5 cents, 6 cents. So there was not really a major chance or there were no consideration for MULN to spike up 20x. In order from 5 cents to go to $1, you need 20x potential. That was not there. On the top of that, there was a huge short selling pressure from MULN, so they could not do that either. In effort to meet the requirement, MULN implemented what? A reverse stock split, we already know, effective May 4, 2023. That reverse stock split was for 1/4/25 stock. As a result, MULN common stock started trading about $1 with the on a 10 consecutive business day requirement, and the company anticipates receiving confirmation from Nasdaq after a listing requirement have been met. You want to keep a very close eye out what Nasdaq talks, because here is what I want to caution you with. How does a company regain compliance with the minimum bid price rule requirement? In order for regaining the compliance with minimum bid price rule requirement, security must be closing about $1 for 10 consecutive business day. Number one, although it's automated computer system that tracks company's bid price on a daily basis, it is suggested that the company contacts The listing qualification. What the listing qualification does under certain circumstances to ensure company can sustain the long-term compliance, because it's in Nasdaq's best interest to make sure that the company's stock, yes, that might be reverse stock split, or for whatever reason it is trading above $1 price point. It's a computer generated system. Sometimes they look into further whether the company can sustain above $1 bid price requirement or not for a longer period of time. Nasdaq may require for closing bid price to equal or exceed $1 minimum bid price requirement for more than 10 consecutive bid days before determining a company's compliance. Now, in whether they look beyond 10 days, Nasdaq will consider but not limited to the following factors. Number one, margin of a compliance, which means amount by which the price is above $1 at the minimum standard. So if you think about MULN right now, we are hardly 5 to 6 to 7 cents above the $1 minimum price bid rule requirement. Now, if we still getting hammered hard by the short sellers, there is a possibility that we go below $1 very soon, maybe in the next consecutive trading session. The trading volume, now its lack of trading volume may indicate the lack of bona fide market interest in the security. That's not the case for MULN, I can confirm, because we do have a pretty good volume. If you think about volume, we are looking at 34 million, 28 million, 57 million, 21 million. So volume is pretty good. What we suffer from is a heavy short selling pressure. We already know that. The market at the moment, which means one of the 8 market is quoting at about $1. Basically, this is not really the point for MULN. This is not really applicable for MULN. It is not that they are trading a Nasdaq about $1. On other markets, they are trading below $1. That's not the case. So we don't really need to worry about. But the important thing is the trend of the stock price. That may be looked by Nasdaq. Now, if their computer system automatic algorithm releases MULN out of this particular compliance, things are going to be fine. We'll see what Nasdaq announces, what the letter that the MULN is going to get, so on and so forth. But this is something concerning. And remember, I'm not a financial advisor, just to say that again. But the trend of a stock price, is it moving up or down? Right now, it is moving down. The reason is we know that it went to $1. It started with $1.60. Take a look. $1.55 rather, $1.46, $1.55, we went 162 after 1-2.25 reverse stock split, but quickly we got back to $1.01. Take a look. The low is $1.01. Now, if you are going down, you can go even further down, which is what Nasdaq does not like. So we need to be pretty cautious about whether MULN is going to get the Nasdaq compliance requirement fulfilled. Because before that, if they start trading down and they go below $1 price point, that is going to be a troublemaker, or the point that will concern the market once again. So I just wanted to share this information with you. Now, remember that MULN was part of this restriction, short sell restriction list, and based on what we see, how long this short restriction list lasts, which is once a short restriction list is triggered on a stock, then the restriction is in place for until the end of the following trading session. But OTC, this is not an OTC stock, does not really apply in certain conditions. It may apply for the next trading session. I'll keep you posted. As I just mentioned to you, you want to confirm and you want to note that we need to be really careful again for the Nasdaq compliance. Average volume 15 million, Friday's volume 33.71 million. So all in all, the MULN volume is fine. What is the short sell restriction? Basically, according to the short sell restriction rule, the trader cannot short a stock on a downtick that has already fallen more than 10% versus the closing price prior to restriction. And this is by the AC. This rule is to protect the stock value when they are hammered by the short sellers, and which is 100% applicable in this MULN situation. One thing you want to note is MULN is heading really positive in terms of 3 days to go. MULN's first commercial drive event at GFX conferences block the party right right and drive. Take a look right here. So that is happening on May 22nd, which is on Monday, 10 a.m. to 12:30 p.m. in Dallas, Texas. Now, also Mullen mentioned that lots of action happening at the Irving location, and they are Mullen 5 EV crossover, as you can see right outside their office in the pictures as well. Mullen GT electric supercar, Balling B1 electric SUV, electric pickup van, so on and so forth. But everything is looking great except the short selling pressure. I hope you like this video. I just wanted to address your concerns. I wanted to address the questions that I got, and I hope you like this video and you can you can imagine what to expect Monday, that is tomorrow and next week. Thanks for watching. Do hit the like button, subscribe to the channel. I will see you in the next video.